It was 1944, right after Finland lost in the Second World War. They had to follow the Moscow Armistice with the Soviet Union, which meant the Finns had to get rid of any Nazis left in their country. This led to the Lapland War, where the Nazis, once allies, started destroying everything they couldn't take with them as they left Finland. Aatami, seeing the destruction from afar, touches his wedding ring angrily, showing how the war took his family from him. Now he lives by himself, searching for gold in the Lapland wilds, with just his horse and small bacon fries for company. One day, he finds a small gold piece in the river, convincing him there's a lot more valuable gold nearby. He works tirelessly, digging many holes, until he finally finds the gold. Holding the gold, he can't quite believe it. After realizing it's real, he gets ready to take his gold to the nearest town. He packs and sets off on his horse with his dog. The journey is dangerous. He runs into a group of Nazis, led by the cruel Bruno Heldorf and his brutal helper Wolf, who's been abusing a Finnish woman they captured. The Nazis mock him as he tries not to look at them, scared they might find his gold. Bruno, suspicious, orders Wolf not to shoot him, thinking he won't survive what's ahead. Further on, Aatami sees several Finnish soldiers who've been hanged. Then, another Nazi group stops him and finds the gold in his horse's saddle. They think taking the gold will be easy. After they try and fail to kill his dog, they threaten him with guns, unsure whether to kill him or not. This makes Aatami so angry that he unexpectedly kills a soldier with a stab to the head. He then fiercely takes down the rest, showing he won't let anyone take his gold without a fight. Bruno hears gunshots and goes back to see what happened, only to find all his men are now dead. He discovers a gold nugget in a dying soldier's hand. Once they know what's happened, they chase after Aatami and start shooting at him from a tank. The chase continues until Aatami enters a field full of mines, and his horse steps on one and explodes, spreading the gold everywhere. Aatami quickly picks up the gold, mourns his horse for a moment, and gets ready to face the soldiers. He decides to use the many mines around him. He picks up a rock, waits for the perfect time, and hits a mine with it, causing an explosion that helps him vanish. The soldiers shoot into the smoke, but when Bruno tells them to stop, Aatami is gone. Bruno sends his men into the minefield to find a safe way across, but 3 are killed by explosions. One is hit in the head by a mine Aatami throws. Bruno makes Wolf bring 2 captive women. Aino steps forward bravely, joining another woman as they are forced to lead the way through the minefield. Bruno, finding Aatami's dog tag after the explosion, tells Wolf to report to their general about Aatami. They're told to pull back to Norway and not chase Aatami, as he's known as a legendary fighter. Wolf describes Aatami as a dangerous former commando from the Winter War, who became a fierce soldier after losing his family and home. He was sent to Lapland as a lone fighter to take down as many enemies as possible, killing nearly 300 by himself and earning the nickname the Immortal among the Russians. Despite all this, Bruno ignores the general's orders and decides to chase Aatami, driven by his greed for the gold. In the next part, Aatami finds a burned vehicle and hides there, taking care of his injuries and removing a bullet from his leg, until he passes out from pain and tiredness. He wakes up to the sound of dogs, realizing Bruno's men are searching for him. Knowing he can hide from the soldiers, but not from the dogs, he decides to hide under the patrol vehicle, hanging upside down. He punctures the gas tank and covers himself in gasoline to confuse the dog's sense of smell. When the soldiers notice the gasoline dripping, they stop to check, allowing Aatami to run towards a nearby river. Wolf shoots him in the leg, but he keeps going. Bruno releases the dogs, thinking Aatami has no escape, but Aatami sets himself on fire with a match, frightening the dogs and giving him time to jump into the river. He waits underwater for Aatami to come up for air, but they miss him. Bruno orders his soldiers to get in a boat and chase him. Underwater, Aatami waits and then attacks 2 soldiers, cutting their throats. He uses their air to stay underwater longer. The last soldier panics and tries to escape, which makes Bruno tell Wolf to kill him for running away. Aatami then uses the soldier's body as a shield to escape. Wolf tries to shoot him with the tank's machine gun, but Aatami dodges the bullets and disappears. When Bruno sees Aatami's little dog, he orders his men to get a boat, showing he's still not ready to give up chasing him. Aatami, exhausted and injured, thinks his journey is nearly over. But to his shock, he sees that the town he fought so hard to reach has been totally ruined by the Nazis, leaving only smoke and ashes from the burnt houses. He stops at the remains of an abandoned gas station to rest. There he starts hearing the voices of his family lost in the war and falls unconscious, gripping his bag of gold. He's woken by his dog barking, only to find it has dynamite strapped to its back. He throws the dynamite away just in time, but the explosion knocks him out. When he wakes up, he finds Bruno and Wolf preparing to hang him as an example. Even facing death, Aatami doesn't beg or lose his composure. Bruno, Wolf, and their crew watch as he seems to breathe his last, and Bruno mockingly puts a piece of gold in his pocket as a twisted payment. They leave laughing, thinking they'd killed the most dangerous Finnish commando. But Aatami is still alive. Desperate, he uses an iron bar sticking out of the pole to hook himself by inserting the bar into his gunshot wound, which lets him breathe. He clings to hope but can't free himself and passes out, his dog nearby. In the morning, a Nazi plane flies overhead, tilting the pole and dislodging the metal rod from his leg, loosening the noose. As the Nazis land at the gas station to refuel, they find Aatami alive. Their superior orders them to shoot him and his dog, but Aatami, regaining strength, quickly overpowers and appears to kill him. He also knocks out another officer with a swift hit. Aatami then sits down and buries the gold Bruno left in his pocket, pondering his next move. A brief moment later, the pilot regains consciousness. Now with an aircraft and a pilot available, Aatami refuses to give up. He unearths the gold he had just buried, showing his unwavering resolve to reclaim his treasure. He starts removing shrapnel from his body, treating his wounds with fire and gasoline, which horrifies the Nazi officer. The next scene shows the aircraft taking off, leaving Aatami's dog behind. Following this, the platoon is seen trying to exit Finland when they encounter a wrecked warplane blocking the road. The pilot, previously met, has been strangled with the rope used to hang Aatami, leading them to believe he's still alive. Alarmed, they continue driving. Inside a truck carrying captive women, two soldiers debate Aatami's survival. Aino, one of the captives, confidently tells them about Aatami's resilience, warning that he won't be easily killed. As they argue, one soldier suddenly dies, and the other, checking outside, is struck by an axe and killed by a tank. Aatami then appears before the astonished women, offering them assault rifles and asking for help. Meanwhile, the rest of the platoon, unaware of Aatami's impending attack, is drinking and waiting. Aatami climbs atop the truck, breaks through its ceiling with a pickaxe, killing the driver. Aino then takes the wheel, joining forces with Aatami to confront Bruno. She abruptly stops the truck, causing a collision with the following tank. In this chaos, Aatami seizes the opportunity and leaps onto the tank from the truck. Aino maneuvers the truck alongside the soldier's truck, enabling the women to open fire and quickly eliminate the rest of the platoon. Aino then fatally shoots the driver, causing his truck to crash off the road. Bruno, realizing his men are gone, urges the tank crewmen to speed up to escape Aatami, unaware that Aatami is already on the tank's roof. Aatami starts banging on the roof, prompting Bruno to order Wolf to confront and eliminate Aatami. When the tank driver abruptly stops, throwing Aatami off the roof, Wolf emerges, guns blazing, to try and kill him. But Aatami quickly regains his footing and ambushes Wolf, pulling him out of the cockpit and engaging in a fierce hand-to-hand battle. Both fall off the tank, and a defeated Wolf, on his knees, begs for his life, while Bruno abandons him and flees. The remaining Nazis also desert their motorcycles and flee. Aatami takes one of the motorcycles and pursues Bruno, leaving Wolf to face the captive women he had mistreated. Bruno reaches the airport where a pilot is waiting to fly him to Norway. After killing the tank crewman who drove him, Bruno boards the plane, hoping to escape Aatami. However, Aatami arrives just in time and starts shooting at the plane, then manages to latch onto it with his pickaxe. The pilot, seeing Aatami's motorcycle, thinks they've left him behind. Bruno, insisting the pilot continue flying despite his injuries, doesn't realize Aatami is clinging to the plane. Hearing pounding from the back of the plane, Bruno goes to investigate, gun in hand, only to find Aatami has broken into the plane. Aatami then ambushes Bruno, knocking the gun away and disarming him. Aatami, worn out and hurt from all he's endured, initially struggles against Bruno, who gains the upper hand. Bruno viciously attacks Aatami with the iron latch of a static line. Despite his efforts, Bruno can't defeat Aatami, who finds renewed strength from his resolve. Aatami cleverly attaches Bruno to a bomb using the static line and opens the hatch to release the bomb, sending Bruno plummeting to his death in a huge explosion, cursing Aatami as he falls. Realizing the pilot is dead and the plane is crashing, Aatami secures himself and clutches his gold satchel, preparing for the crash. Miraculously, the plane crashes into a swamp, causing a cloud of smoke and dust. Nearby, Finnish soldiers scouting the area find the Nazi tank now controlled by the captive women, with Wolf tied to its barrel as a prisoner. Aatami, having survived the crash, pulls himself out of the swamp and heads to the nearest town. As he enters, everyone looks at him in amazement. He walks straight into the bank, throwing his gold in front of the teller. This is the first time Aatami speaks in the entire film. He requests large bills of cash in exchange for the gold, stating it's easier to move that way. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.